Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'll be recording on a different angle this time, with the camera facing towards away from me. So maybe this will be a better angle. In any case, this is just an overview of gas blowback pistol maintenance and just basically how to clean it and maintain it. Specifically, this is the Marui M&P9. So usually I clean it after each game I have, and games last maybe 4 or 5 hours with constant use, so it's a good idea to clean and maintain your pistols, especially your pistols and your GBBRs. But anyways, so first we're going to disassemble it, take off the slide. I like to work with the bottom first. To me it's a bit easier, but you can work your way with however you want. You'll need rubbing alcohol, and I like to use this ultra slick lithium grease. You can buy this at most home hardware stores, not home hardware stores, like automotive stores, well, and home hardware, but this is for auto, Canadian Tire. And you need a light silicone oil or shock oil. This one is 30 WT, and obviously paper towel. So what I like to do is just wipe down all the old gunk, especially on the metal rails here. And you just see all the shit that comes off. Because I run propane, so if you leave your gun dirty, it'll stink of propane, and the propane will basically linger there for quite some time. Just wipe down the mag well. And I have garbage paper beside me. So once I just do a basic wipe, and really, you just want to be able to get through into all the little small cracks and whatnot. Just Q-tip, just to clean out any debris, especially if you play outdoors, for example. You don't want sand and shit getting into your gun. Alright, so now that I've already wiped it down once dry, I like to just put a little bit of alcohol. It's just some cheap alcohol compound from a dollar store. So you don't have to wear gloves, but I like gloves because I don't like the grease and lube and all that crap get on my hands. So basically what the alcohol will do is just wipe off any leftover grease and oil. So when you apply your fresh lube and grease on, you'll be good to go. Alright, so for me that's enough for the lower. Now we take apart the upper. So recoil, spring, outer barrel, inner barrel. As I mentioned before, for this front sight post, you can see that there's some white residue in here. And basically that's just some craft glue. So you want to use some white craft glue. Basically cheap glue enough to hold in this clip, otherwise your clip might fall out and you will lose your front sight if you run anything stronger than duster gas. So it's just a tip. So for these, it's just the same method really. You're just wiping down any excess. And if you don't have an M&P, this is pretty much the same concept for any gas blowback pistols. And for this, alright, I'm back. So, I need to get my cleaning rod. Most pistols will come with one. This one is a rifle one, so it's actually a bit dirty, so I'm just going to wipe it down. But basically, you want to basically just fold. Some people like to use like higher quality, I guess, cloth, which is fine, but I just have paper towel at my disposal, so I'm just going to use a bit of paper towel. You just basically don't want it too thick. That might be a bit too thick, but basically you're just going to put it down the front of the inner barrel, and you're just going to twist while going in. Just to clean out all that residue. Generally my inner barrel is really clean, but if you, for example, buy a used gun and your inner barrel is really gross, like when you look down it, you'll be able to see a lot of debris stuff. You can actually put a little bit of silicone oil on here, and and when you run it down, it should collect all the dirt and grime and crap that you have left in there. So for me, I don't know if you guys can see on the camera, but it's very shiny inside and clean. Yeah. So to me, that's good enough. For me, I'm just gonna take the Q-tip here and just lightly stroke, not stroke, dab, dab the hop-up chamber here. Next, we move on to the slide. So here is pretty much the same that you would do to the lower. I'm just using the Q-tip and going in between the rails here. Not rails, the yeah, lost my train of thought. Get all that crap out. See, it's pretty gross. Pretty much just want to get rid of all the old grease and silicone oil that you had placed before, assuming you lubed your gun before a game, which you should. I know some people use frog lube and real AR-15, real firearm lube. I've tried it before and it doesn't really work well because, like, for example, frog lube, it works when you heat up, when the gun heat up, the lube works, but for airsoft it's cold when you shoot because of propane. So it's best to just stick to what I recommend is silicone oil and lithium grease. So I like to do a nozzle check. You don't have to unscrew it, but if it's really dry, you'll have to do all the unscrewing and take apart the nozzle assembly. But for me, when I pull the nozzle down and let it retract, it doesn't stick. It's pretty, it goes up and down smoothly. So to me, that means that's pretty well lubed in there, and that I don't really need much more additional lube in there. But in the event that it's not, you can just add some silicone oil here at the back here, just a little bit, just let it work it in, and then just at the top here and the side here of the nozzle. Try not to put too much. I put a bit too much. Just work it in. Now you see it works. Goes up and down perfect. So general rule of thumb, so silicone oil you want to use on O-rings and mostly plastic. Lithium grease you want to use basically on anything that has metal, but I mean technically you can use silicone oil for strictly everything because it's Marui and it's plastic, but yeah, so for my what I prefer using lithium grease. If you haven't seen it before, it's just this white, not too thick, but grease. For the upper, you just want to apply it to the rails here. I'm going to call them rails. You don't need to use a Q-tip if you don't. I'm just doing it so it goes in between the grooves more. But you can just use a paper towel as well, or your hands. Most people use their hands, but I don't like the grease on my hand. You put a thin layer on the top here, just the bottom. I'm just going to reassemble the upper. So for here, I'm gonna just apply grease on the metal parts here, basically where it'll contact the upper. So I want to apply just a little bit. Everyone has their own preference for how they do and maintain their guns, so obviously I encourage you guys to look up other videos from other users on YouTube and just get a general consensus of what you're comfortable with, but for me that's mainly it. So once that's done, just put your slide back on. Make sure your hammer's down. Back a few times. So for me, it's really smooth. So to me, that's a good job, well done. And that's basically it. So that's how you maintain any gas blowback pistols. Obviously, if it's dirty and has sand and a lot more gunk in it, you probably have to take apart everything. But for the general basic maintenance, this is what I recommend. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time.